TNA District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is now in session.
Thank you.
Court draw near. The Honorable Judge Cedric Simpson presiding.
Maybe seated. Prosecutor here. Court does, well, this is MDOC. Court does call the case of People versus Larkita Collier.
Good morning. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Kearney on behalf of Ms. Collier. Ms. Collier, can you state your name for the record, please?
Larkita Collier.
Okay.
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for sentencing. I did review the PSI. I was unable to meet with Ms. Collier to review it with her. I do believe that it's accurate. It is a credit for time served recommendation. So I guess I would ask Ms. Collier if she would like to review it. I'd ask for an adjournment, or if she's okay with me reviewing it and she wanted to move forward today.
I'm okay with you reviewing it. I want to move. I'm okay with your decision. I'm ready to move forward with it today.
She just doesn't want to come back and see me. That's all right. That's all right, Ms. Collier. No, that's okay. I'm not offended. Don't worry about it. All right.
Regarding the PSI then, Your Honor, I did review it and I don't have any changes, additions, or deletions. Again, it is a credit for time served sentence. Ms. Collier has been in MDOC for quite some time now, and we'd ask that you adopt that recommendation.
All right, Ms. Collier, is there anything you'd like to say before I impose sentence?
Yes, sir. I had wrote something.
Uh-oh. That looks like a big piece of paper. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. First, thank you. First, I'd like to express my silent remorse for this crime. I want to say that I took full responsibility for this crime, and that is why I pled guilty in preventing wasting more of the taxpayers' money with the trial. Please allow me to explain why I committed this crime. I had a head full of hair that was in dreadlocks, and this plaintiff and her girlfriend followed me into the restroom and accosted me, and the plaintiff Cotton pulled my hair out from the roots, and it would never grow back, while her girlfriend Chris Jackson held me from the back. As you can see, my hair is ruined forever. This is why I have to wear this hijab. My hair was pulled out the night before.
Okay. Gotcha.
This happened the night before of the incident. So now I have a head covering detail until it grow back in. It's slowly making progress and taking vitamins for it and stuff like that. What else? I'm almost done. As you can see, my hair is ruined forever. I was so ashamed and angry. I wanted to leave a lasting and equal impression on her as well. So I hid from the officer in the dark day room and boiled some liquids to burn his plaintiff. I did not want to be labeled as a snitch or a weak person for allowing them to jump me the night before. So I retaliated when I should have just told the CO what they had done to me. Instead, I took matters into my own hands, which was wrong. Since then, I voluntarily signed up for and completed a group called Beyond Violence. This is my certificate.
Okay.
I just completed it. You see it?
Yes, I can see it.
I'm almost done. A couple more sentences. And completed it and received a positive certificate that I have with me now. Also a before picture of me, and you can see what my hair looks like now. This was a before picture before my hair was pulled out. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am. I see it.
I regret my actions, and by no means am I saying that I had a good reason, but I'm being honest about my reasons at the time of the incident. I'm taking my group, and after taking my group, I realized the error of my decision, and I'm asking this court for leniency today with my word that I will never do anything like this again. Thank you for your valuable time and consideration, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. It is, and I will not impose a consecutive sentence. It's not recommended, and I'm not going to do that. I will order the sentence of the court, $125 statutory fees. Those are state fees. And then 365 days incarceration credit for the 365 that you served during this. Okay. And good luck to you, Ms. Collier.
So I paid $125.
Yep, you can pay $125.
Okay, how do I do it?
When are you scheduled to get out?
I got like 15 more years left.
Then I'm not gonna worry about it.
Okay.
Hey, when you got it, okay?
Thank you, sir. So, thank you. Have a blessed
Thank
day.
you, Ms. Collier. You
Bye,
take
Thank
care.
Collier.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Court calls the case. People versus Soren Knudsen.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Wagner on behalf of Mr. Knudsen, who stands to my right. Your Honor, today is the time and date set for sentencing. Find the pre-sentence report to be accurate. I only have one possible consideration. I'd ask Your Honor to, it appears that the recommendation is appropriate, but as I read it, it's looked like they were requesting an additional 5 days. Now, the gentleman did serve 10 days. Believe he had a lesson in non-compliance that'll stick with him for a long time, which is obviously why the court does these things, and it's appropriate. But we would ask that you, if you think that's possible, since the rest of the 93 days has been suspended, that the 5 days, if that's something the court feels is appropriate, that it could possibly be delayed, as is the rest of the sentence, if he becomes non-compliant with anything that the probation department recommends. For a first offender, I think that's an appropriate.
Mr. Wagner, you've not seen the violation report? You seen it?
No, sir.
That may be why we have some. Go ahead.
I didn't get it. I got the pre-sentence report, but I didn't get the violation.
I have a copy here. Let me do this. Let me approach Mr. Wagner.
Thank
Let me
you.
give you my copy and then I'll pass it and let you go through. with
Thank
the
you,
plan.
sir.
All right. Court calls the case, People versus Kent Wilkinson.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Go ahead.
For the record, Peter Torres here on behalf of Mr. Wilkinson. We are in Zoom. We consent to Zoom for the purpose of the sentence. Mr. Wilkinson, please state your name for the record.
Kent Wilkinson.
Thank you. All right.
Your Honor, I did review the pre-sentence report with my client. It is accurate. There's no changes that need to be made. If I just may allocute briefly.
Yes, sir.
The recommendations for 4 months on a prosecutor deferred sentence, $480 in fines and pay restitution and complete the theft class. My client lives in Marquette. This was a gigantic error on his end. He's taking responsibility, yes, for what he did. I will tell you, he's extremely.
Oh, you're talking about what he did, not living in Marquette. No, I didn't. I just want to make sure I'm following. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Marquette's a great place, especially in the summertime.
It is. It is.
I've only been a couple times, but I will tell you, he has been extremely remorseful, mainly because he is an upstanding member of society and he knows what he did was wrong. And I'll let him address the court thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wilkinson.
Yes, what I did was very dumb and I regret it deeply. And I never intend to violate the law in this way or any other way again. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Very good. To sentence of the court, I'll place you on 4 months prosecutor deferred sentence. You're to pay $480 fines and court costs, $120 probation oversight fees, $220.03 restitution to Walmart payable through the court. When can you pay that, sir?
I can pay it today.
Okay, that can be paid today. I think the only problem that you may have will be the restitution because that needs to be paid in cash.
Can you send a money order in?
How are you gonna? Yeah, can you send in a money order on that one?
Yes, I can.
Okay, very good. Then I'll approve payment by that mechanism. There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You're to complete a theft class. You're to do that within the next 60 days. You're to complete 25 hours of community service as directed by probation. There's no going to any Walmart stores in the state of Michigan. I'll set a review hearing that's to be held November 13, 2024 at 9 a.m. I'll order 93 days in jail. That is suspended. All right.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, on that date, we would come back into court, I take it. Or is it an automatic?
Yes, if his appearance isn't waived, if he gets everything done, there's a possibility his appearance could be waived.
Okay, and then the matter would be dismissed thereafter. Is that how it would work?
That would be the plan.
Okay, he'll get everything done.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Court calls the case, People versus Philip Seaver.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brendan Zabalski appearing on behalf of Philip Seaver. Mr. Seaver, please state your name for the record, sir.
Philip Michael Seaver.
Your Honor,
Go
today
ahead,
is,
counsel.
good morning, Your Honor. Today is the date and time set for sentencing. I have reviewed the pre-sentence report with Mr. Seaver. It is factually accurate. No corrections, additions, or deletions. I would ask the court to adopt the recommendations. The only thing I would remind the court is that, Your Honor, when this case first started, my client was on a SoberLink device, and then it was converted to a Scram tether. He has been compliant with the Scram tether. However, it's twice the price as the SoberLink device. The recommendation is to go back to the SoberLink device for an additional 30 days, which my client would just rather do as opposed to continue on the Scram tether, just because financially speaking, he can't afford to stay on the tether. So I would ask the court to order that, if Your Honor feels that's necessary in this matter.
You're saying he's on a Scram at this point?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Voluntarily.
Your Honor, that is correct. That was my error with, I meant to put Scram because I indicated to continue. But I would leave it to the court's discretion whether they want it to be a continuation of the Scram or a Sober.
Got it.
Your Honor.
So he would have to come in and switch out units, but because of price, he'd prefer to do that. Is that what you're indicating to me, Mr. Zabalski?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
He's
very
been
good.
he's been compliant. He just right now he's kind of in a bad spot, so I'd rather do the SoberLink. But just a few
Yes.
other things before Your Honor imposes sentence.
Yes, go ahead.
Your Honor, my client is 34 years old. He resides in Ann Arbor. He's no prior convictions on his record. This was obviously an isolated incident. He's learned a lot. He knows he put himself in a bad situation, and fortunately, it wasn't any worse. It was a very costly and valuable lesson for him. I don't ever expect him to repeat the actions of the night in question, and he's going to do everything that Your Honor orders him to do. He does suffer from some mental health issues. He is medicated. He was medically and honorably discharged from the Army, and he's getting services through the VA. So with that being said, Your Honor, I just wanted the court to know all that and ask you to adopt the recommendations if Your Honor finds those to be fair.
All right. Very good. Sir, anything you want to say to me before I sentence?
I have learned a very valuable lesson on the night in question. It was very reckless on my part, and the incident that resulted in the actions that followed, I'm working toward correcting in a therapeutic session through the VA, and at the moment it is helping.
Okay.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. The court does acknowledge this is not a serious misdemeanor as defined by statute, however, believes there are reasonable grounds to depart from the presumption of a non-probationary sentence. Specifically, the alcohol screening and assessment identifies the benefit of outpatient treatment, attendance at AA meetings, and abstinence from all intoxicants. Therefore, the court will follow the recommendation of probation for a probationary sentence with the stated rehabilitative goals to promote change, prevent recidivism, and to monitor compliance with recommended treatment. So therefore, the sentence of the court, I'll place you on a 9-month probationary term. You're to pay $855 fines and court costs, $100 prosecution recovery costs, $100 police agency recovery costs, $270 probation oversight fees. When can you get that paid, sir?
If would I be able to pay? Let's see here. Would it be possible to pay the second week of August?
I think we can do that.
I'm sorry.
So why don't I make it August 16th? Will that work for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Payable August 16th, 2024. There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to testing as requested by probation. You're to continue and complete outpatient treatment through the VA with status reports to probation. You're to attend 2 AA meetings per week with monthly verification to probation. You need to provide proof of the victim's impact panel attendance to probation. I will switch you to a SoberLink device, and that will continue for additional 30 days in lieu of 4 days in jail. I'll order 93 days in jail. Credit 1, the balance is suspended. Thank you, sir.
And just for the record, Your Honor, he can petition halfway through his sentence, provided he's in good standing with the probation department to have his probation discharged, correct?
He can, but he's gonna have to show me a lot to do that. But
Okay.
I'll take that as pursuant to the statute. I'll take a look at it.
Fair enough. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Court does call the case, People versus Jason Hall. You don't have, what is this set for? Jason Hall.
Just Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, given that Mr. Hall is not present,
Bench warrant will issue for defendant's failure to appear. Bond will be set in the amount of $10,000. I'll give a 10% privilege at this time on that. That warrant will issue immediately. Let me recall. But court recalls the case of the People versus Soren Knutson.
Your Honor, I've had an opportunity to go over the document that court did refer me to. I would like, his mother is here who has been testing him through this entire period. I would like.
She has been testing him?
She's been testing him. I would like you to hear from her if you're willing to listen prior to a request I'm going to make to possibly delay or adjourn this for a couple of short weeks while my client, this stuff is moving out of his system. He's been compliant in terms of showing up, except for one day he missed work, but he went in the next day. He claims he has not used since he got out of jail. Well, actually, before he went into jail for the 10 days. And we would ask that, Your Honor, if
that was in
Your Honor, he was released from jail on May 15th.
May, that's what I thought.
right
And he's saying he hasn't used since May 15th?
before then, because he was in there for 10 days.
He went in May 2nd, Your Honor.
I mean, well, Mr. Wagner, I'll certainly hear from Mom, but I would also indicate to you that part of it shouldn't be in his system this long.
Or they do have another test that he did on July 8th that also came clean. So
July 8th came back clean.
So July 2nd and July 8th, he's had clean tests.
Well, right, except,
Correct. There's been a month and a half.
well, no, I'm talking on July 2nd. I'm not sure that that's a clean test, only because they creatinine.
Creatinine comes generally through energy drinks as well, Your Honor, and it may not be a violation.
Yeah, I know. But let's put it this way. He's positive on the 27th of June. And then the 2nd, he's negative, but I have abnormal creatinine and never had abnormal creatinine throughout any of the testing that's listed here. So that,
First one for me too, Your Honor.
yeah, so that's a problem in my mind. I'll hear from his mother if that's what you wish me to do.
Ma'am, can you come forward?
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
Which I know you're nervous.
I've never been here before. I don't know the.
You know, me too.
Protocol.
I feel that way every day. All right. What's your name, ma'am?
Tracy Knutson.
All right. What did you want to tell me?
Just that I bought these. He was a regular user prior to all these events, and I purchased a testing kit that tests for 5 levels of THC in the urine. And throughout the time through the course of May and June, I was able to see him clear the levels of the testing kit, within one or 2 weeks past, another level would clear negative. But at the more sensitive levels, it took him longer to pass. So I believe that he was not using any substances. I don't know about the creatine. I don't know what that is.
All right.
So I can't speak to that. But anyway, he over time, but it did take him a month and a half to clear through the at-home test kit that I was able to purchase online. I mean, I know it's not the same level of testing that they do here. So that's all. That just wanted to say that at home, I was able to see improvements.
I thank you for that.
And I know that it does, I've just been told it takes, because I was frustrated. Why aren't you testing negative?
I know.
So
I'm-
I know that it takes a long time to get out of the system, and he was a regular, unfortunate daily user before.
Yeah, and I mean, all right. I mean, I get it. And just so that you know, the creatinine level, or his abnormal creatinine, and I'm not sure which test you got, but that doesn't matter. There are ways, particularly with some of the levels, that those tests can be fooled, and our test picks up other things. How long have you been testing him?
When did you start testing?
Oh, 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I mean, he was always testing positive on the test, but we started this test, this level where it had the 5 levels last summer, and then again recently, just in throughout May and June.
Got it.
But it only tests for THC.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And that's for him, that seems to be
Yeah.
his issue. All right. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me, ma'am?
No, I don't think so.
No,
Just that he's been doing, it's really great to see him lately.
it
He's
is.
been doing great since he's been staying sober.
Got it. Important. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
And you did fine for not being here, before.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Young man, how old are you?
20.
Anything you want to tell me?
I
I said anything you want to tell me.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I was such a heavy user before that's probably why it took longer to take out of my system. I was using every day, anytime I could, and I learned a lot from jail, and I stopped using after that, and I didn't know why the tests kept coming back positive.
I have an idea probably why it's coming back positive, but I'm not gonna go there. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I think Mr. Wagner knows me well enough to understand. He asked, would I hear from Mom? He knows I was going to, because she knows you better than anybody. And oddly, although sometimes you may not think so, probably loves you more than anybody. She's been trying to tell you to stop this. Why do you think she's telling you that?
I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
You
Because
can't hear me.
No, I
Can
can't.
you we got some equipment, Mr. Wagner.
because she knows it's bad for me, and
I'm not having a
She's
Biden
seen-
moment.
she's seen the negative effects it has on me, and all the negative consequences.
So when she's seeing that and pleading with you, I'm sure there's just been sort of pleading in prayers, a mother's prayers. Why don't you just stop?
Well, I have stopped.
Okay. Before that, before we get into any of this other stuff here, why didn't you stop?
Before
Yeah.
before I went to jail, I was addicted, and it is a much heavier drug than it used to be, and the levels that you can get now are much.
Oh, I know that. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Sometimes you got to quit making excuses. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got to quit saying that it's this, that it's my system that's taking a long time to get out. I don't want to call over and get the levels because I don't think I'm going to like what I see if I do.
I think you're gonna like what you see.
No, you don't. Young man, understand something. You don't want me to do that because when I do that, it rarely turns out very good.
Well, I'd like you to do that.
I'm not going to do it. And here's why. I'm going to do what your counsel asked me to do. I'm going to adjourn your sentencing out. Because see, here's the thing you don't get. All right. And you got to quit. I realize you're 20, but you want to do things your way. You're trying to tell me, go get the levels, go whatever. I don't even need to get the levels. I've got abnormal creatinine. That's a violation. That's a positive test. So I could send you on that right now. You understand me?
Yeah.
But I'm going to follow what your attorney asked me to do. I'm going to adjourn your sentencing. But here's the catch to it. Probation has recommended an additional 5 days. I don't know what other things you're taking that are maybe causing the abnormal creatinine. But if you come back here, your mom seems like a wonderful person who just cares about her son and has been trying, and you haven't been listening. I don't like people that don't listen. So the kicker to this is probation's recommended 5 days. I'm going to adjourn it out. You're going to show to me, but more importantly, show to your mother that you're not using this. If you come back with abnormal creatinine, or you come back in anything the court determines a positive test, all bets are off. Understood?
Yep.
Your Honor, if I might just
Yes, sir.
add, he is taking medications for his bipolar disorder. He has things that you've seen in the sentencing. My pharmacological expertise is limited. I don't know whether if any of those, like he's due for an injection tomorrow, and I don't know if those could affect or not affect any of the other.
The creatinine.
Yeah,
Now, again, Mr. Wagner, here's the problem I'm having. The problem I'm having is he's probably been doing that for a while, right? And I'm going to tell you on the face of it, here's what it looks like to me. It looks like I'm positive. I all of a sudden miss a test. I then come back positive. My next test is negative, but I have abnormal creatinine. When I see that, what that tells me is somebody's trying to mask. And I don't have the test afterwards, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what it looks like to me.
I was afraid you might come to that conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. And so, quite frankly, had I not heard from his mom and what she's doing, I don't know that I would have followed the 5 days, because I don't think he learned anything 10 days if I take this testing that way. But I'm going to give him a shot. And the shot is this. It's not going to be letting me down, because I get let down all the time here. So I'm not worried about that. But if you let your mother down, you're going to have a problem with me. That's what I'm really trying to get through to you. Follow me?
Yeah.
Give me that next one. What's our have? Give me.
July 21st is the next one, or August 28th.
August 20th. All right. Let's do that. I'm going to adjourn his sentencing to August 28th, 2024. Clean test.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
You might want to look up what causes your creatinine to go up. I doubt it's your medication.
Yeah.
So you might want to look that up and avoid those things.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your mother has probably already Googled it because she loves you so much. Never mind. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Wick. Thank you, ma'am. Court calls the case, People versus DeAndre Johnson.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
Please state your name for the record.
DeAndre Johnson.
Teresa Claire on behalf of the commission. Your Honor, Mr. Johnson is scheduled before the court today for a violation of probation. Since I filed that violation report, Mr. Johnson's completed all terms excepting the monies. He has a balance of $900. His last payment to the court was on July 5th. He made $175. Given that there's been movement with completing his terms, probation is asking to extend his probation for a period of 5 months, that Mr. Johnson pay $100 by July 26th, then $200 per month thereafter, and continue all previously ordered conditions by this court.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
You think you could do that?
I can definitely do that sooner, actually.
What'd you say?
I said I can definitely do that. It'll be sooner than the 5 months as well.
It will?
Yeah.
How did it take you so long to get everything else done? No, I'm not gonna worry. I'm not gonna worry about it. All right. I'm gonna trust you this time, okay? Don't mess it up.
Thank you.
I'm gonna extend his probation for a period of 5 months. You pay $100 by July 26, 2024, and then $200 per month thereafter. I'll continue all terms as previously ordered. All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Superberry, that's the worst one to have.
There's somebody in the background there. Court calls case, People versus Kimberly Castenholz.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kimberly Castenholz reporting in.
Good morning.
Good to see you in person, finally. I've only seen you on the TV. I'm starstruck.
Well, I guess thank you. I'll put it that way. Thank you. All right, Ms. Polera.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Castenholz, I've scheduled her before the court for a status review hearing. As the court's aware, Ms. Castenholz had a bump in the road, had a relapse. She had difficulty getting back into treatment due to the medical issues because of the relapse. She was in the hospital. She was hospitalized for quite a period of time. Then she lost the ability to walk. She had in-home care. So she has since, Your Honor, she started to go into a residential treatment program, which was the original plan. There was a delay with that due to her medical issues and having to have the medical care that she needed. However, she did do that, and there was complications with that. Since then, Your Honor, she is back engaged with CCOP. They have got her back in the relapse prevention program. As the court's aware, she already completed the CCOP program, but she is back doing that. She's drug testing, and she is reporting as directed. She's not made any payments towards the additional cost. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just wanting Ms. Castenholz to get back engaged in treatment and around her recovery. And she has been doing that, as the court's aware, also with CCOP. That also includes AA meetings and things like that, which she is doing. So at this time, probation is asking that the prosecutor deferred sentence continue with the next review hearing being set October 9, 2024 at 9 a.m. And also, so the court's aware, I don't see anything filed yet with any additional charges.
Got it. Anything you want to tell me?
I hope I learned my lesson. I've been going to at least a meeting a day, and I'm getting back into meeting more and more people and a level of honesty that I haven't had in a long time. And a lot of service work, and I'm able to finally help out at my parents' house. My dad has a form of dementia, and so I'm living with them right now, and it feels good to help them instead of being a hindrance.
So you're doing better than you were.
Yeah. Much better.
Gotcha. Okay, very good.
Yeah, I've got over 6 months of clean time at this point, so
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
All right.
It's hard work, but I'm willing to do it.
Hard work, and let's see if we can make it a lifetime. Huh?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. I'll continue on the prosecutor's deferred sentence. I'll set the next review hearing for October 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m. All right.
Okay,
Keep up.
sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Yes, if we could. I want to see her again.
Okay. I'll be much more spry.
Okay, all right. Oh, this is, if she needed more time, that's fine. I'm close to 10, so I can call it up at the beginning of the next block.
That might be good. I did not see Miss Mood in the hallway.
Okay, she took off. Okay, all right, then I'll wait on the Thomas matters and I'll call them up after. That's it for that block then. All right, the court's gonna stand in brief recess.
14A District Court for County Washington, State of Michigan is now back in session. The Honorable Judge Simpson presides.
May be seated. And now Ms. Mood has joined us. Court does call the cases of the People versus Wanda K. Thomas.
Good morning, Judge. Thank you for giving me that extra time. Janelle Hamoud appearing on behalf of Ms. Thomas.
Really didn't have a choice, couldn't find you. No, go ahead.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate, also on behalf of Ms. Thomas, who is not present to my knowledge unless she is on Zoom, Your Honor.
She is not.
So, Judge, we've been doing some digging with respect to her whereabouts. She was at Sacred Heart Memphis up through June 12th. There was a referral issued for her to go to Home of New Vision. The individual that we spoke to at Sacred Heart, Ms. Pate spoke to her this morning. I spoke to her prior. She cannot confirm or deny whether she's at Home of New Vision because she doesn't have access to that information. We don't know if she's signed a release to either one of us at Home of New Vision, and we need some additional time to look into that. Based on the fact that she seemed very anxious to resolve this, I don't think that she's, I always want to assume the best, absconding, and she would have reached out to us. Ms. Pate said she had spoken to her on July 2nd.
That's correct. She left me a voicemail most recently on July 2nd. Since then, to that number, I've attempted to contact her and have not had direct contact with her since then. But since I did confirm when speaking with Christina at Sacred Heart this morning, she indicated to me that when Ms. Thomas left on the 12th, she had successfully completed the program at Sacred Heart and that a referral was made to Home of New Vision. We do not know if she is there. Christina was unable to confirm or deny that. However, Ms. Thomas did reach out to me and did leave me a voicemail, but the most recent contact was that voicemail on the 2nd of this month.
So what we're asking is for the court to adjourn for a few more weeks so that we can try to track down Ms. Thomas. We would ask the court not to issue a warrant because we did not make this attempt until this morning to try to locate her and see where she is. So if she is at Home of New Vision, it's likely she can't use her cell phone for the first few weeks of her program. She is also terminally ill, so there's many explanations that we could jump to conclusions on as opposed to she's just not here because she's not following a court order.
Your Honor, I just wanted known to the court.
Don't tell me you're joining them in this request. Okay.
As to proof of her treatment, I did attempt to get information from Sacred Heart. They were not able to share with me because there's not a release of information signed for probation or for myself, so I could not get any information. I also attempted to contact her a couple times at the telephone number that we have. It rings, but I'm unable to get through to her.
And Sacred Heart did not have a release on file for me. It was only for the Washington County Public Defender's Office. And so I would have to conference Ms. Pate in to get the information we needed for today. I don't think that was an intentional exclusion of probation.
Yeah. 24th at what time? 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. And then issue all the warrants.
What?
I said, then if she's not here and we don't have
You're
anything
going to
else.
come up with something else. Okay, I'll adjourn them out to the 24th.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the case, People versus Orville Howard.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard, please state your name for the record.
Orville Howard.
Thank you.
Teresa Clare on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Howard is before the court for a violation of probation hearing. Mr. Howard was sentenced in this case in August of 2020. He's been on bench warrant status. The end of his probation term was in September of 22. He still has an outstanding balance of $1,097. His last payment made to the court was on March 8th of 2022. Part of that owing balance, he does have restitution, $467. He did not complete the theft class. He failed to report to probation as directed. He was before this court or scheduled before this court on 3 prior BOPs, one in June of 2021, one in March of 2022, where we had given him another chance to get things done, and again on March of 2023. He also had a criminal case of reckless driving out of the 1402 District Court. That alleged date of offense is March 20 of 2021. That last I saw was on bench warrant status. I'm not sure why, because he is in custody. Given all the prior attempts to get Mr. Howard to complete the terms of his probation, at this time, probation is recommending 93 days in jail, credit for 8 days served, to serve the balance, waive remaining terms, accept the financial obligations, and discharge him from probation without improvement.
Disparity.
I did speak with Mr. Howard yesterday in the jail. We did discuss the violation of probation. As for explanation of why he did not complete these things, Mr. Howard has been homeless, I guess, since the last VOP. He was evicted from his home. He and his family were living in a motel, his fiance and 3 children. He also has a child on the way that's due in December. He's just now getting back on his feet. He was able to secure housing through Hawk. He's also been utilizing their social services through SOS. He even told me he just recently got a cell phone, and the family got new numbers because they've been struggling so hard. He's also looking at getting back to work after finding housing and stabilizing that area of his life at a plant for Frasia? Forcia.
SOS is helping me get.
Okay. He did indicate SOS is attempting to help get him Social Security as well. This is a non-violent crime. There is restitution that Mr. Howard said he is going to pay once he gets back to work. I'd ask the court to discharge him from probation, instruct him to pay that money that's owing, and let him keep working on getting stabilized, he and his family.
Mr. Howard, anything you want to say, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to say that it's been a really rough, hard time. Me and my family has been homeless. We've been in and out of motels. Even myself, I've had to sleep in the woods myself to make sure my family was good. We're SOS, they were in an Alpha house, and there wasn't enough room for me. So I had to do what I had to do, was sleep out there where they were, safe to where they were. But it's been a long, rough journey. We finally are getting back on track. We finally got housed at Village Grove Apartments. Everything is starting to go up and move forward. I'm trying to get my license back. Everything is just starting to go on now. And I'm just asking for a little bit of lenience so this can keep going forward and I can do the right thing. And I will pay everything that I owe.
Okay, and I appreciate everything that's been said, but throughout this thing since 2020, I kept giving you a chance to just get things right. I get people run into difficulties. If at any point you had let probation know the difficulties, then we would have probably done something else or tried to do that, tried to work with you on this. But now we come down to here. How'd you end up in custody?
I was with a friend that got pulled over.
He that's what I'm saying. You've got time to do that, but you don't have time to just come down.
It was actually work. I was actually working. So that's
okay. That's fine. I'm just saying you had time to do that, and all it was going to take was for you just to stop into probation at any given point in time.
I was trying everything I could. We didn't have phones. We lost our phones. I tried everything I could to do. I have babies. I got a
Mr. Howard, if you took the same time or even a lot less time that it took for you to contact Hawk and SOS to just let probation know what was going on with you, this goes differently.
I understand that, yeah. Is there any way that I could be placed on maybe a tether till I can get everything paid off or something other route?
I'm out of time.
So I could be with my kids and my family?
I'm out of time. I tried to work. I tried, Mr. Howard. I tried to.
Chance.
Mr. Howard, I've given you 2. I've tried it, and then you disappear. If at any point you had stepped in here, and anybody knows how I work, if at any point you had stepped in here and said, here's where I am, Judge, even if you don't go to probation, and just say, here's where I am, can I get another shot to do this? I probably don't have a problem with that. But you did none of that. And quite frankly, had you not been stopped and picked up, you wouldn't be here now, even.
I know that, yeah.
Sentence of the court, 93 days in jail, give him credit for 8 served. Defendant is to serve the balance. I'll waive all other remaining terms except his financial obligations, discharge him from probation. Thank you. Court calls case, People versus Mohammed Farah.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Farha. Please state your name.
Mohammed Farha.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Farha owes a balance of $675. His last payment to the court was March 14th of 2024. He failed to complete the outpatient program. He does have 2 new pending felony cases. One is an alleged date of offense of March 24th, 2024. And the other is an alleged date of offense of April 9th, 2024. Those are convictions now, Your Honor. He goes for sentencing on July 24th of 2024. Mr. Farha was held in custody on this case for a period of time due to those felonies being outstanding. When he was picked up on those, this court issued a warrant in this case and set a bond. Given that the time that Mr. Farha's probation is now recommended for this case, that the prosecutor deferred sentence be revoked and that the conviction enter, that he be sentenced to 75 days in jail with credit for 75 days that he served, waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligations, and discharge him from probation without improvement.
We don't have a response, Your Honor.
No response. I'm going to revoke the defendant's prosecutor deferred sentence status and enter the conviction in this matter. I'll order 75 days in jail, credit for 75 that he served. I'll waive all remaining terms, accept his financial obligations, discharge him from probation without improvement. Thank you. Court calls case, People versus Robert Jones. Leave your hat off till you get out of my building.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Robert Jones, who stands to my right. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Robert Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today is the time set for sentencing. I have reviewed the recommendation from probation with Mr. Jones, and we would respectfully request that the court adopt the recommendation.
Is there anything you want to say before I impose sentence?
No, sir.
Sentence of the court, I'll order $125 statutory fees, 93 days in jail, credit 83 served, defendant to serve the balance. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case, People versus Ashley Grisham.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate on behalf of Ms. Grisham, who I do not believe is present unless she found her way onto Zoom somehow, which I don't think would be.
Not on there.
So, Your Honor, I just got in contact with Ms. Grisham late last night. She did reach back out to me. I was able to briefly discuss the recommendation with her. I do not have an explanation for her failure to appear. For the record, I'd respectfully request an adjournment.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, today's court date is a violation of probation. The court has given Ms. Grisham multiple chances to try to get into compliance. What happens is, as soon as she's before the court, we give her a chance, then she kind of dips out, doesn't do anything. At this time, probation is asking that the court issue a bench warrant.
Bench warrant will issue for defendant's failure to appear. Bond 10,000. I'll give 10% privilege on that. That warrant will issue immediately.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case, People versus Eric Mays.
And Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Mays, who is approaching. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Eric Mays.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have been able to review the recommendation from probation with Mr. Mays. We would respectfully request that the court adopt the recommendation.
Why didn't he go over and do anything?
Pardon me, Your Honor? You mean the alcohol assessment? He's been in custody since he pled.
Okay. Defendant can be released from custody on a scrap feather on a bond of $25,000 personal recognizance. We refer him to Bond Sports to complete the alcohol screening and assessment, complete the victim's impact panel. All adjourn his sentencing to August 28, 2024, 9 a.m. Yes, scram tether prior to release.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court calls case People versus Shakisha Lee.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender, Lauren Attorney on behalf of Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee, can you unmute and state your name for the record, please?
Shakisha Lee.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Teresa Clara on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Ms. Lee for the court for violation of probation. Since I filed the violation, I would like to update the court that is compliant with everything excepting the monies. She was before the court and a violation hearing was set for today. She did report to me as the court instructed her to, and she's reported to me since. She has a balance now of $270. So she did make a $20 payment as of yesterday. And she made a payment from her prior owing balance of $345 at the last court hearing. Given that she's made movement, at this time probation is asking, and I know that the court has done this already once prior, but to extend the prosecutor deferred sentence for a period of 4 months, that she made a payment now of $45. And I would ask by the end of the month, Your Honor, she's been trying to get caught up with her own financial stuff at home and things like that. Then $75 per month, that all the other conditions continue, including reporting to me as a director to, with the next review hearing date being set November 13, 2024 at 9 a.m.
No objection to that, Your Honor.
Pam, anything you want to say?
Other than I'm trying, that's all I have to say.
Okay. I'll extend the prosecutor's deferred sentence for a period of 4 months. She's to pay $65 on her before the end of the month.
Correct, Your Honor.
Before July 31st, 2024, then $75 per month thereafter. I'll continue all other terms as previously ordered. I'll set a review hearing November 13th, 2024, 9 a.m. Thank you. Court calls case People versus Michael Olson.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Olson. Please state your name.
Michael Olson.
Teresa Clara on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Olson is before the court for a violation of probation hearing. Mr. Olson was sentenced in this case December 13, 2023. Mr. Olson has done nothing with his probation. He failed to report after sentencing. He owes a balance of $1,525. He's made no payments. He failed to sign and return his probation order, failed to complete substance abuse treatment, the assessment and or treatment, including a mental health assessment and or treatment. He failed to report to community corrections for his random weekly drug testing. And he has also failed to report to the court on prior violation of probation hearings in April, May, and in June. He would then submit a bench warrant recall request. Given all of that, probation is asking that the court sentence him to 93 days in jail, credit for 25 days served, to serve the balance, complete the in-jail Dawn Farm program, waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligations, and discharge him from probation without improvement.
I did speak with Mr. Olson regarding the VOP. I think Mr. Olson's issue has been that he has tried to complete some of the terms, but has not fully been able to get there. For example, when I was reading through what he hasn't done, he said, well, I did call probation, but he didn't show up in person. When I read that he didn't do his treatment, he said, well, I did call Bear River, but I wasn't able to get up there.
Bear River comes and gets you, but go ahead.
Or hasn't been able to complete the intake or whatever happened.
Yeah.
I think his limitations come from he told me he's not working. He doesn't have any transportation. He doesn't have a car. He doesn't have a license. He's been living with his mother and taking care of his pregnant fiance. He's been trying to keep his head above water. I will tell the court
How did he get picked up?
His mother.
My mother was going out of country to deliver a package. She's a package carrier. I had to wake her up to find out when she'll be there because I was planning on going to work, and the police department, the state police picked me up.
I think he's been trying to keep his head above water, trying to care for his pregnant partner, trying to get work, trying to help support his mother. I do know he has the support of her. As the court may know, she's called probation, she's called the prosecutor's office, she's called my office, she's called the court, trying to get someone to help Mr. Olson. I do think if he were in touch with Ms. Pilara, he would be successful in probation, but that connection hasn't been made, obviously. I think Mr. Olson is someone who needs a little bit more support to complete the terms. I mean, he expressed a lot of confusion to me about what he needed to do and what was going on. I think he's been struggling with, like I said, completing the things he needs to do without someone kind of ushering him through it. He does have more time on probation. I'd ask the court to give him a chance to complete the terms that he needs to complete.
Anything you want to say, sir?
I apologize for anything I've done wrong. And
April 10th of 2024, I had to issue a bench warrant because you didn't show up at your violation of probation hearing. You submitted a recall. We reset it. May, same thing. Didn't show up. And issued a recall. Usually we wouldn't recall it. We recalled it. We reset it in June. June 12th comes around. What happens? You don't show up. I would agree with everything Ms. Parony says in terms of, yeah, you might need help getting through some of this. Maybe. I don't know. But it's impossible for us to determine because anytime that we're setting a hearing for you, you're not here.
yes, sir. That's why I was apologizing, sir. Your Honor.
Sentence of the court, 93 days in jail, credit 25, defendant to serve the balance. He's to complete the Dawn Farm in jail program. I'll waive remaining terms, accept his financial obligation, discharge him from probation without improvement. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm not really seeing, never saw my probation officer and they told me 10 days.
What?
They told me 10 days the last time I spoke to them.
They told you 10 days for what? Court calls the case, People versus Tierra Mancha.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Parony on behalf of Ms. Mancha. Ms. Mancha, please unmute and state your name for the record, please.
Tierra Mancha.
Yeah, we can hear you.
For of probation. Ms. Mancha was sentenced in this case in October of 2019. She had an end date of October of 20. Ms. Mancha owes a balance in this case of $940. She made no payment. She failed to complete the drug program, even reporting to probation. She did not complete 25 hours of community service. She has new pending cases out of the 2A District Court, a retail fraud, an alleged date of offense of December 13th of 2019. Out of the 35th District Court, fume sniffing ordinance on an alleged date of offense, April 17th of 2020. And a case out of the 15th District Court, prohibited use of a chemical agent with an alleged date of offense of April 18th, 2020. Those cases are all still pending and in bench warrant status. Ms. Mancha also has a new criminal conviction out of Pike County, Kentucky, promoting contraband second degree within a date of offense of December 11, 2021. She did some time there and on 12 months probation since this case happened. Given all of that and that Ms. Mancha lives in the state of Kentucky, probation is recommending 38 days in jail with credit for 38 days served for her violations to date. refer the 940 balance to collections, waive remaining terms, accept those financial obligations, and discharge her from.
Nothing to add, Your Honor. I would leave it in your discretion.
Sentence of the court, 38 days in jail, credit 38 served for the violations to date. I'll refer the balance that's owed of the 940 to our collections department, waive remaining terms, accept her financial obligations, discharge her from probation without improvement. Thank you. Court calls the case People versus Patrick.
I'm sorry. Did you say?
Morning, Judge John Hamoud appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Petiprin. Patrick, can you say?
Morning. Patrick, good morning.
Judge, I did review the sentencing recommendation with Mr. Petiprin, and we are asking the court to adopt the recommendation.
Sir, anything you want to say before I impose?
No, nothing further to add.
$125 statutory fees, 300 days in jail, credit 300 served. Thank you. Court calls case People versus Reginald Hunter.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perry on behalf of Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter, can you unmute and state your name?
Reginald Hunter.
Ms. Blair on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Hunter is scheduled before the court for a review hearing on a prosecutor deferred sentence. Mr. Hunter has all terms completed accepting the monies. Mr. Hunter, you know, as the court remembers, was not in good standing initially. And the court has worked with him. Mr. Hunter has reported to me and has stayed in communication with the probation department. He actually came in and made another payment to this court on Monday of $60. His owing balance currently is $458. I know that Mr. Hunter was working not only with this court, but with 14B as well. So he was trying to stay, or he's trying to stay compliant with both courts. Given that Mr. Hunter has made a drastic change from when he first started, is now reporting and, you know, attempting to make payments, probation is recommending that the court extend the prosecutor's deferred sentence one more time for a period of 5 months, that Mr. Hunter paid $58 by the end of this month, July 31st, then $100 per month, that he continue all terms as previously ordered, with a new review hearing date being set December 11th, 2024 at 9 a.m. And I'm not sure if Mr. Hunter wants to explain more of why he couldn't have this balance paid by today. I'll leave that up to you.
No objection from us. Mr. Hunter, would you like to say something to the court?
Yes, the reason I have not been paying is because I'm going through a lot with, I'm getting custody of my daughter now. And so I had to buy her a bed and all new clothes and everything. So that's why I haven't been paying. And I have been taking care of 14 is that B. And plus child support is taking majority of my money. So that's why I haven't been paying so much.
Yes. I think that there was a situation.
Go ahead.
I think that there was a situation where Mr. Hunter had to take on full custody of his daughter.
Right.
So there was an issue there. And so he had to get his home in order, you know, and it had to be inspected to make sure that, you know, his child was coming and everything was, you know, as expected or required.
Right.
Hunter, what caused you to grow up?
I have a daughter now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought for sure that we were gonna come down to a day I was just gonna have to throw you in jail. I know I threw him in jail once, but I just thought I was gonna have to give out the remainder. What changed you? Your daughter?
Yes.
How old's your daughter?
She's 6 now.
And all you're doing is trying to just take care of her.
Just keep her happy. Because her relative just passed away. So I'm trying to keep her happy the most I can.
How much has he paid total? You got any? You got the one thing out there pending at 14B. How's that going?
All I have to do is finish community service, then I'm off probation. So I'm doing community service for them.
Your Honor, the fine started originally at $605. His balance is $458. 147.
Okay, got it. But he just came in and made a voluntary payment, right? I mean,
He has been. He made a payment in May, although it was small. And then, again, there was the issues with the death of the sibling, and now he has his daughter. And so he wasn't able to pay because he had to get his home, things in his home, and it had to be, signed off by CPS. And so he was in communication with me about what was going on. And obviously, I wanted his money to go to get his home in order. And then he came up and brought a $60 payment because he wanted to show the court that he is trying.
Hunter, what have you learned from this case?
To stop doing dumb things and to stop using drugs and alcohol and to better my behavior.
You're going to pass that along to your daughter?
Yes, I am.
And I don't know that there's any more that I can ask from you. So here's what I'm going to do. But if you show back, I got a long memory. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
You show back up in my court, we're going to have a problem. But now you're being a father, you're trying to do the right thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to waive the entirety of the balance in this case. I'm going to dismiss this case under the prosecutor's deferred sentence, discharge you from probation, and close this case out. You go take care of that 6-year-old girl.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you, Teresa.
Take care, man.
You too.
Is it Leonie Medina? No, wrong one. No, never mind. I'll take this one. He brought him out. Court calls the case People versus Terry Roberts.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Paywith on behalf of Mr. Robertson. Please say your name for the record, sir.
Good.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today is the date and time set for sentencing. I have reviewed the PSIR with Mr. Robertson, and we have no changes, additions, or corrections, and we would respectfully request that the court adopt probation's recommendation.
Sir, anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
Oh, sir, I just guilty of the crime I committed.
Pardon?
I'm guilty of the crime I committed. I just take consideration of probation department's recommendation.
Sentence of the court, $125 statutory fees, 93 days in jail, credit 93, sir. You're all set. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Court calls the case of the People versus Leonie Medina. I probably said that wrong because I've said it wrong every time.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Laura Perny on behalf.
Yes, Lainey Medina.
Teresa Clara on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Ms. Medina is before the court for a review hearing on a prosecutor's deferred sentence. Ms. Medina is not compliant with the prosecutor's deferred sentence. She's made no payments over $700 that she owed. She'd be able to complete the theft class, and she'd be able to report to probation as directed. At this time, given that it is a prosecutor deferred sentence, probation is asking that a violation of probation hearing be set for July 24, 2024 at 9 a.m. That Ms. Medina report to probation tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. in person. That she also report to community corrections with 4 hours for a drug screen. That she become compliant with all previously ordered terms of this court prior to the violation hearing or face possible sanctions, which could include the loss of the prosecutor deferred and or jail time.
Your Honor, I don't have any objection to that. I guess my only thing is Ms. Medina does live in Wisconsin. So I'd ask if she could report to probation via phone or Zoom meeting.
And Your Honor, I have spoken with someone in Wisconsin. They're indicating to me that Ms. Medina is playing this with both courts. She is telling Wisconsin that she's living here, and she is telling us that she's living there. And I believe that she is in this area.
I've spoken with her public defender in Wisconsin, and her bond conditions are that she is to stay in Wisconsin.
As her bond conditions here are that she stay in Michigan.
I believe that the bond conditions were changed to allow her to stay in Wisconsin. She did report for in person, and she was given permission to leave Wisconsin to come here for purposes of that court hearing.
And Your Honor, if that's the case, that she is in Wisconsin, obviously I could do the appointment by phone. However, I would also expect that or ask that the court.
I don't have a change of address.
Order her to correct.
I can get the court an updated address. I just have in my notes on February 14th that She was here in person and she will reside there until that case is resolved and her bond conditions reflect.
On what day?
February 14th, which was,
Well, hold it. No. I did not say she could live there. I said she could travel to Wisconsin. I've got my note.
That's what I show also, Your Honor.
well, then I incorrect.
I don't think she requested to change her residency to Wisconsin. Because I wouldn't have put, I mean, I can have my staff pull up the tape. But if she's in Wisconsin, my notes indicate that she's to travel to Wisconsin.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I can also state, if that was at the February 14th hearing, my notes that I reflected from that court date is that the court allowed travel to Wisconsin to deal with the pending court case there.
Yes.
Well, Your Honor, I'm happy to confer with Ms. Medina and get into touch with both probation and the court of where she's staying.
Right, but here's my problem. If what Ms. Polaire is indicating is correct, that Wisconsin's saying that she's telling Wisconsin that she's living in Michigan and telling us she's living in Wisconsin, I'm not going to play that game because she's supposed to be here. I did not give her permission to reside outside of the state of Michigan, and so could issue a bench warrant solely on that. But also, I would indicate if somebody were going to reside in another state, either the court or probation, but certainly probation, would have an address.
I understand. I'm happy to speak with Ms. Medina about it. She is raising her hand.
Go ahead.
I think you're muted, Ms. Medina.
Okay, good morning, Judge, first of all. I am not sure who it is that she spoke to that stated that I am claiming I am living in Wisconsin and then telling Wisconsin I'm living in Michigan. That would be inaccurate, and I'm not sure where that information came from. However, I have been traveling back and forth between Madison, Wisconsin and Ypsilanti, Michigan. My permanent residence is here in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So I have been abiding by both.
Living with her permanent residence.
My permanent residence is here in Ypsilanti, and I have been residing.
Then there's no reason she can't report in person. All right, because that's what that was all about. All right, anything else anybody want to tell me?
No, Your Honor.
I'll set a violation of probation hearing for July 24th, 2024 at 9 a.m. That will be in person. She's to report to probation July 11th, 2024 at 11:30. That is also in person. She's to report to community corrections within 24 hours for a drug screen, and she's to become compliant with all other terms prior to the violation of probation hearing or face possible sanctions, which could include the loss of the prosecutor's deferred sentence and or jail.
Ms. Medina, can you call our office and update your contact information with us as well as probation?
Okay, yes, I will. Can I get like a number or something? Because I have been trying to reach somebody for the last couple months about the class I was supposed to take, and I haven't had any contact from anyone at the probation office except for an email that I received just a couple days ago. Because I had a family member.
The probation department attempted to contact her. The probation office also emailed which has our contact information on it.
Correct. The email I received was just a couple days ago, and prior to that, I hadn't received anything until
Ms. Medina, Google
Yes.
the Public Defender's Office, Washtenaw County Public Defender's Office, and call my office today, please.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Court calls case People versus Russell Keene.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pitt with, on behalf of Mr. Keene, whose appearance has been waived.
Teresa Claire on behalf of probation.
Who's
Your Honor,
this?
Mr. Keene was scheduled before the.
Who are you?
Mr. Russell, sir, how are you doing today, Mr. Simpson?
What's your last name?
Last name is Russell, sir. First name Michael.
What?
He's not on our docket. He was originally on our docket for next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. He's next Wednesday. Okay, all right, they're good. Russell Keene.
Yes, Tracy Claire on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Keene was scheduled before the court today for a review hearing on a prosecutor deferred sentence. Mr. Keene has completed all terms ordered by the court, recommending that the court dismiss the case to the prosecutor deferred and discharge him from probation.
See if she's left. See if she's left. All right, that's it. You said?
Yeah.
You sure? Really? You hope so? You had him bringing me people I didn't need. Okay, never mind. I'll find somebody to blame. I think it's Emily's fault. Court is standing recess.